I do have that phone.
Hello, everybody. What is up? I am joined again by the always amazing Eleanor Goldfield.
Hello.
She's back. I didn't
He
ever.
found me in this basement where it looks like I'm about to do a proof of life video.
I didn't ever tied up in a basement. That is not. Do not believe.
That's just what we do in our free time.
Hey. Welcome to the show. Welcome to Common Censored. Hope you guys are doing well out there. We got a lot to cover. So
Okay, if that's really loud, I'm just trying to stir my tea.
but you know, people like the ASMR, like ding ding
Is that
ding
what
ding
that
of the tea. Like ding, ding.
Okay, because I hate that. I think that's super fucking annoying.
We'll take a poll. Or do people like the nice little clinking of a stirring tea?
Get some
or-
nice nettle tea here
Oh my god.
because I'm 1,000. Okay.
But all right, so we're gonna be getting into the Prairie Land verdict, which is a fucking abomination of the U.S. justice system. We're gonna be getting into some positives of anti-Israel candidates winning. We're gonna get into ICC decisions, Supreme Court decisions, all of that coming up right now. Please click thumbs up, leave a comment. All that shit helps, and away we go. So we're starting on the Prairie Land verdict, or verdicts, I guess. Which what happened?
I'm not. That's not why I'm laughing. You have to stop the ticker at the bottom. It's like super distracting, and then I start reading it, and then I laugh at really like.
See, here's the comedian in me though. Which one was it? Which one was the good one? Tell me.
The zoo.
The zoo? I don't remember what. Oh, guy sent to the zoo. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Note to everybody who's watching the live stream. Read the ticker.
And
Okay.
if you're listening to the podcast, you're lost, and I'm sorry.
You're missing out on the ticker. That is the one thing I cannot give to the podcast is the ticker.
You could have that be the ASMR background. The last person.
Someone's just whispering a comedy ticker in the background. It's horrifying. All right, we're gonna shift to from funny to not funny. I guess let's start. There are plenty of people out there who may not even know who the Prairie Land defendants are. So let's start kind of from the beginning, I think.
Boy. Okay, so basically, I mean, there's a lot if we want to start at the beginning. But basically, what? Buy me a drink first. The case basically involves.
You just moved it back out.
Well, because I feel like.
Oh, too close to me. You're saying, all right.
The case involves 22 people who were arrested for their alleged involvement in the events at and following a protest on July 4th, 2025, in solidarity with the detainees at the Prairie Land Detention Center, aka concentration camp in Alvarado, Texas, hence the name, the Prairie Land 8. And this is all kind of centered around, it's very much like Haymarket. Like if you are familiar with the Haymarket affair, it very much like feels similar, where a police officer was a shot was fired.
It was like some sort of bomb blast.
Well, at Haymarket, the bomb went off and then shots were fired. And but no one can actually say whether anybody involved who ended up being hanged was actually the culprit. Likely not. So this kind of has the same, taste, if you will, same echoes. A police officer was injured. He went to the hospital and received treatment, was released that same day. And the defendant, Benjamin Song, who received 100-year sentence. By the way, I'd just like to take this moment to just point out something totally unrelated, that nobody in the Epstein files has been arrested. Okay, so
let's just remember that as we're going. Yeah,
as we're going. So he's been sentenced to 100 years, and at no point does he deny the fact that he engaged in an act of self-defense, and he was not allowed to use the word self-defense. He was not allowed to really give any defense of his actions. And I want to read part of his statement because he did release a statement after the verdict was handed down. But I mean, there's so much, and y'all can, and I recommend that you check out prairielanddefendants.com for information. But the basic like the basic structure of what happened is that there was a noise demonstration, and if you've ever been part of an
against ICE.
if you've ever been part of like some action outside of a concentration camp, one of the things that people highlight is noise demonstrations, because the people on the inside can hear it. And it reminds them that they're not alone, that people actually give a flying fuck about them. And oftentimes they will, sing songs that are, specific to solidarity and things like this. It's noise demonstrations. And so this was what was happening that night, July 4th last year. And then basically what happened was that there was about to be a shooting. The cop in question was pointing his gun at somebody who was running away. And Benjamin Song saw this and responded. He is a firearms instructor and a Marine Corps veteran. And what happened after that is that people that were not involved in that, because only one person were basically guilty by association. And in all, 18 people were arrested and charged with a variety of crimes. 9 people were arrested that night. Another was arrested the next day during a raid on the house. People, including the person who got a 30-year sentence, wasn't even there, which also echoes of Haymarket, because there were people that were arrested for the Haymarket affair that were not there. So this is something, and I bring up Haymarket because it is, especially in organizing circles and leftist circles, it's something that's built up as like, this is a tremendous moment in the U.S. history, because it also really signaled a tremendous shift in U.S. domestic policy against anarchist organizing, communist organizing, socialist organizing, labor organizing in general. And it is held up as like, look at how effed this was, what they did. And this is very much the same, right? They're going after people who weren't even there. The person who got a 30-year sentence moved zines. A
pile of papers. He moved them from one spot to another. And they said, this proves that he was part of the conspiracy to attack this police officer and cover up that they had done it, et cetera, et cetera. Therefore, 30 years in prison.
So, and how this then connects to this guy being injured in the neck, how moving zines is somehow connected to this. Again, they're saying it's a conspiracy, I guess. You were moving zines, and every time you move paper from one place to the other, someone gets injured in the neck. Like every time you lie, an angel loses its wings or some shit.
And can I just add one thing in here about this that seems odd in the reporting? And I don't know if someone in the chat has the answer, but what I've read, they repeatedly in mainstream media, et cetera, they repeatedly say that he shot at the police officer. The police officer was treated at the hospital for injuries or an injury and released that night. It seems very odd they don't say treated for a gunshot wound. Now, I understand a gunshot can graze someone, but it seems they would still call that a gunshot wound. You are still wounded by a gun. So I'm wondering whether these injuries that the cop got were unrelated to the shot fired.
Well, it's
because
very
it
vague.
seems
I'm
intentionally vague.
I'm gonna read Benjamin's part of his statement, but yeah, I mean, even the Pearland defendant website says the state alleges that toward the end of the demonstration, an individual fired a gun at an Alvarado police officer. The officer was allegedly injured in the neck and was released from the hospital within hours. That's all that they say.
They don't say, like the mainstream media, which is trying to
say he was shot in the neck.
I know the mainstream media, which is trying to manufacture consent for these insane sentences against mostly average activist activity. If he had, it just seems to me, and I could be wrong about this, it seems to me that if he had hit him in the neck, the mainstream media would say shot in the neck, like cop shot in neck. And I just haven't been seeing that. So again, someone in the chat may have proof of that is said, but I haven't seen it.
Also, and the reason that they went after all these people is because the DOJ claims that all the defendants are part of the violent ideological movement that they call Antifa, which, again, we've talked about this on the show before. I've talked about this on other shows. Antifa is not, there's no, like, we don't have a meeting in some, like, basement of a library. Like, that's not a thing. Antifa just means anti-fascist, which You know what you are if you're anti-Antifa, you're pho.
But yeah,
So here
and
we
Fox News tried to like created this thing where a guy lending his bathroom to protesters outside ICE in his apartment was the leader of Antifa. So like Fox News came up with this thing, and then Donald Trump like told the Justice Department to investigate this leader of Antifa. It didn't, like, it's so insane. They're so desperate to find this massive left wing group that is working to take over the government. It doesn't exist.
But that's also why it's so dangerous, because if it's just going after the concept of being anti-fascist, anybody who's ever been to a protest, right? If you've been to the No Kings protest, which I've written about this, y'all, I've talked about this, I have my feelings about it, but even if you've just been to a milk toast fucking parade like the No Kings parade, you could be put under this umbrella. And that is terrifying. And so, I mean, you should care about this because they're human beings. But even if you were just a selfish piece of shit and just cared about yourself, you should still be concerned, because you could just be wandering past a protest against fascism and they could
No.
grab you because you're guilty by association because you were walking by.
And those of you who are like, well, I would never, I mean, you wouldn't be watching this if you're one of these people, but anyway, those of you who are like, I don't even ever go to a protest. You might have kids or friends or parents who have ever been to a protest. So it really is everyone that should care.
Look out for an interview that I'll be doing with folks that are part of the support committee for Prairieland Defendants. But I wanted to, is it okay if I
read the statement?
I'm not going to read the whole thing. Again, you can see the statement. A lot of people have shared it. But I wanted to read part of it. This is from Benjamin Song, who is the person who got the 100-year sentence for allegedly, his sentence. The charge was attempted murder, which is absurd. But he's the one who got the 100-year sentence. And this is what he wrote when that came down. Also, the judge, I think it's worth noting, pointed out explicitly that he was going after people with the same ideologies. Now, the idea that you can pass sentence on somebody as a punishment, a pre-crime punishment for other people, is also terrifying. And I think that is worth noting, because he didn't just mete this sentence out on these defendants. He's literally engaging in pre-crime and saying, this is for all of you who think the same.
Pre-crime, but also our justice system, which is garbage. But if you were to believe in the hypothetical, wonderful version of our justice system, you're not supposed to sentence people to send a message. You're supposed to do it because of what they themselves did. Like, you're like, this guy stole a candy bar, but I want to send a message to the mafia, because they also steal things. And so I'm going to sentence this candy bar thief to 900 years to make the mafia worried. Like, sending a message is an insane, illogical, immoral way to sentence anyone.
Agreed. So this is part of Benjamin Song's statement. Again, you can read the full statement on prairielanddefendants.com. He writes, I don't hate anyone. I don't hate cops. I don't hate Trump. I don't hate Nazis. My beliefs are composed thus. First, that we should help each other. And second, that we should protect one another. I never want to see anyone get hurt. I don't want to see good people standing up for what they believe in gunned down in the street. When I saw Lieutenant Thomas Gross stop pursuing and point his gun at the back of a running unarmed protester, like he testified, I was terrified. This is key here. As a firearms instructor and a United States Marine Corps veteran, I understood what I was seeing. I knew what it meant for someone to lean forward into a gun, like he testified, to prepare for recoil. As the evidence shows, I did not want to hurt anyone. I never had the intent to hurt anyone. I tried my best to avoid hurting anyone. It is impossible to say that I was trying to ambush or planning any violence. I am so grateful for what didn't happen. I am so grateful that we are not here mourning another death and tragedy, another Alex Preddy, another Renee Good, another Botham Jean, another Manuel Tehran, another Tatiana Jefferson, another Philando Castile. Now 22 people have been arrested, have been persecuted, have been tortured for what? for nothing. None of these people really did anything, and none of these people have anything to do with what happened with me. Hold on.
Oh.
Whatever is taken from me is taken from you. It may be these 22 strangers now, but it will be you tomorrow. When will you be accused of being a domestic terrorist? When will it happen to you? I don't fear for myself. I fear for all of you. What will you do in this time of great failures and great injustices? What will you do? How will you help each other? And how will you help yourselves?
It's a good and important statement. And I hope we keep fighting for the Prairie Land defendants. Obviously, they have appeals and things, but in a completely kangaroo garbage, inverted, morally bankrupt justice system, who knows whether those appeals will work or prove anything. All right, I want to get to some. They're all loosely Israel related, although very.
Isn't everything?
I know, very, very different aspects.
I mean, they're literally why we can't have nice things.
Israel is.
One of the main reasons.
So we don't spend a lot of time on electoralism, and we're not going to do it today. But I would like to say this is a nice thing to see, that there was a sweep the other night of anti-Israel, or at least Israel critics. I don't know whether they call themselves anti-Israel or not, but Israel critics won 3 elections in New York. And it seems to be that, and they were all endorsed by Mamdani, but it seems to be that the characteristic that unites them all and seems to be why they won was their criticism of Israel, which, yeah, so that is a great thing to see. But I also think more than just, will they stick to their actions? I hope so, or stick to their words with action. I hope so. But it also is good to see that this is what fucking voters are thinking. Like, voters care about genocide. I know, crazy. What? How could they? But they actually do, and we're seeing those results right now. So, on the topic of Israel, also the UN does not move at the speed of a speeding train, but
not even a bicycle.
A UN Commission of Inquiry has said Israel is indeed committing genocide in Gaza by deliberately targeting children.
That's not the only reason that they're okay.
Deliberately targeted Palestinian children, resulting in genocide, crimes against humanity, and war crimes in the Gaza Strip, as well as war crimes in the occupied West Bank. A new report alleges that Israeli authorities and security forces have deliberately carried out acts inflicting death and severe bodily and mental harm on hundreds of thousands of Palestinian children.
So, okay, a couple of things here. I'm not glad, that's the wrong word. I think it's good that these reports exist, like mostly for the sake of posterity. Like if these reports make it past the nuclear winter that we're chugging along towards. But I first of all, I think that it's a bit problematic to expect the entity that created Israel to dismantle it, right? It's like that trope that you can't dismantle master's house with master's tools. So maybe using the construct of the UN is not where you're going to find liberation. And not this week, but the week following, I spoke again to Dr. Ramzi Baroud, who is a Palestinian author and academic and just like a genuinely amazing, brilliant human being. And he talks about like existing inside the confines of the colonial paradigm and colonial time, and looking at this through that lens and why that's problematic in a myriad of layered ways. And I think that that's something that's really important to remember here, because I think when we see this report, we're like, oh, okay, great. Then, well, it's settled. Like Israel's going to be held accountable soon. But like the UN is not, the UN isn't, okay? And I don't like saying that, but we can't expect the UN to act on its own creation. It's very like a Mary Shelley type situation. And I think that, what was the other thing that I was going to say? I can't remember. But I think that like this is it's problematic to look at this and think, and I know that's not why you're doing it, but it's problematic when people.
Should I take off my quinceañera dress? You're saying don't celebrate?
I think you should wear it just because you look smashing in frills. But
do you know how hard it was to fit 4 piñatas in a tiny car?
Is that related?
I was celebrating the UN decision.
Oh, I thought that was the dress.
Then there's the dress. Yes. All the above.
Okay. Yeah, what kind of piñatas? What do you got in?
Mainly condoms.
Boring.
In the piñatas.
Boring. I was hoping you were going to say like the mini bottles of wine or something.
Okay. That seems like they would shatter when you're hitting it with a baseball bat.
No, those are plastic.
Yeah. Okay.
Hopefully, what's it called? Hopefully recycled plastic.
You want to talk about the UAW divesting?
I do, because to me, this is, and I know I'm always like, hey, fuck electoralism, but like this actually has a definitive effect, right? The fact that the UN just released a report, like Israel doesn't give a shit. It's like when France said, Ben-Gvir can't come here because he's a meanie. Ben-Gvir's like, I don't fucking care. Like, it doesn't matter.
you can send the UN report to your fucking family members who are like, is that really a genocide? Human shields?
Yes.
So
absolutely.
That's nice.
I'm not saying that it can't be used, just like there are rabbinical statements that I've sent to my father about like why Israel's a shit heap. And so like I'm not saying that you can't use a variety of tools to like foment change inside, as particularly like with regards to shifting public opinion. I'm saying like with actual tactics that pressure Israel, this isn't one of them. But the economy and actually pushing those economic buttons. The UAW, for instance, has divested from Israel bonds, $400,000 in Israel bonds, marking a victory for decades of rank and file organizing. And this is also why I will never shut the fuck up about the importance of labor organizing, because at the end of the day, we're all workers. Like whatever, you don't have to be in a specific union, particularly one like as big as UAW, to recognize. I'm trying to get comfortable.
We have a top-notch expensive set here.
It's also like really hot, y'all, and I wasn't built for climate change. Sweating.
I don't know if wrapping your hair on your face is helping.
Okay.
No, it's that lovely glisten.
Is it? I feel like no. Lovely glisten passed me by when I was in my early 20s. Anyway, now it's just like perimenopausal.
You were drinking hot tea. What the fuck were you thinking?
I didn't have time to make it iced.
Kind of cold.
What is that?
Water.
It's not vodka?
It's not vodka. It's just water.
Okay. I don't trust you. Anyway, so it is like we are all workers and we can all organize in our workplaces like on this issue, on any issue, and make those connections, right? I mean, the UAW folks were making this connection for years. Like, okay, but what does this have to do with me not being able to afford healthcare? Okay, well, let's look at how the war abroad is the war at home, and how continuously funding and funneling billions of dollars to Israel actually affects the standard of living in the United States. Like that is a direct link, right? You can't be Rambo. What is it? You can't be Rambo away and Mr. Rogers at home.
I love that you've adopted this slogan that I barely remember from a stand-up set, but you can't dress like Rambo and act like Mr. Rogers.
Okay, I'm kind of repurposing it. But anyway, so yeah, I think that like this kind of organizing is really, really important, and we shouldn't lose sight of this, and we shouldn't see like that some guy who's critical of AIPAC or Israel got elected and we're like, okay, well, I don't have to do anything anymore. Like we still need to be organizing, and we need to be organizing in our workplaces and in the labor movement.
Well said. And
it's ridiculous. Oh my God.
Yeah, well, you can take off your pants, I guess.
Clearly not a desert person over here.
Eleanor is ready for climate change. So
this
this Dutch report won a prestigious European prize, and yet it's like a non-story in the U.S. I don't even know if I haven't checked, but I don't even know if it's been covered by U.S. media. Dutch report documenting Israeli shootings on Gaza children, like assassinating Gaza children with snipers. And like, which somehow, I mean, you'd think you couldn't make like bombing a school more horrific, but the idea that they're literally like looking through a scope, not thinking, oh, well, we'll take out the 5 adults in the building and sure, we'll kill 50 children, but we'll get those 5 adults. No, this is like, we're just going to kill those children. And that's what these reports and these analysis are showing. And this report, Dutch report, won a prestigious a prize for this coverage. U.S. coverage like non-existent. Let's not even mention that the IDF is assassinating children with sniper rifles, not accidentally, intentionally.
Also, I mean, you don't accidentally snipe people. That's not a thing.
And then also on the topic of Israel, the IC. So the Trump administration, in all of their lovely fascism, has put, we mentioned this before, put sanctions on the judges that decided that Israel is committing genocide, and or put the warrants out for the war crimes arrests of Netanyahu and others, and so that they are like, they've been debanked, and like they obviously can't come to the U.S., but I think they can't travel to a bunch of other countries either. Their assets are frozen. They like can't order things online. Like, it makes their life a living hell for being judges at the International Criminal Court saying Israel's committing genocide.
I mean, we do have the Hague Invasion Act. Like, people, I mean, you shouldn't really be that surprised.
Fucking insane. I maintain my ability to be shocked.
Okay, I'm not shocked. I maintain my ability to be always disgusted, but I don't think I can be shocked anymore. Not unless there's a taser involved.
All right, I will switch my shock to just vomiting.
Do it that way, please.
Yeah. But anyway, they're now suing Trump in U.S. court over these sanctions and this debanking his efforts against them. So
fascist gonna fash,
which is a form of lawfare. It's basically just lawfare against ICC judges. Okay, one more. This is kind of interesting. I'm just gonna give you a little bit of this because I am writing a Substack on this, but
and I'm not gonna say anything.
Eleanor knows the secret. Thank you, Holistic Radical, for supporting the show. Says, Lee, you mentioned the other day that some people don't like your multiple levels of reality bits. Who are these people? They must not be holistic or radical. Fools. I like it.
Agree.
I want to end every sentence with fools.
Agree. Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yes, I do think the deeper levels of reality
also
are
dig
so
the
important.
Hendrix picture.
Oh yeah, Hendrix avatar. Thank you again for supporting the show. Okay, so you guys may wonder, how censored am I? This girl, teenager, sorry to call her a girl, but teenager in Montreal. I guess still a girl. I only found out about this was a few months ago, but I only found out about it recently. She was suspended in her high school for posting on her own private accounts, on her own Instagram, 2 posts critical of Israel. And she's suspended. The Montreal high school student says she was unfairly suspended for criticizing the state of Israel. It's the Royal West Academy in Montreal. Her first post was, she said, out of rage.
I like this girl.
Out of rage, I know. It's like, this is who you should be if you want to be a genuine person. Out of rage, I posted, fuck Israel, holy shit. During this, she read about one aspect of the genocide.
All you need to say.
And posted that. And if you read about children being executed and you don't think that, at least, then you are mentally unsound. So she posted that. Then they found another post a month earlier where she did something horrific. Students had flagged the Fuck Israel story, and another one posted about a month ago where the teen shared a reel by comedian and news commentator Lee Camp. So this girl is suspended in Montreal for reposting my stuff. The reel shows an Israel Defense Force IDF soldier purportedly stating that on the day of the October 7th attacks, his team was ordered not to patrol the Gaza border between 5:20 a.m. and 9 a.m. Yes, the reel she's talking about does show IDF soldiers saying that in front of the Knesset or a Knesset panel or something like that. And it wasn't just one IDF soldier, it was multiple. blah, blah, blah. You've heard me talk about October 7th forever. So basically, she reposted the truth that I had posted. This got her suspended in Montreal school. It was a 6-hour suspension, but she refused to serve it. And they said, you can't come back to school until you serve it, meaning obviously it lasted much longer. I have not found an update. If there's
I am literally
update out
willing
there.
to find like some homeschool homies in Canada to like work with her because so she doesn't have to go back to the school because like
Yeah.
awesome. I also
Yeah.
feel like you should try to like reach out and
Reach
be
out.
like find her, be like, hey, you're awesome. You're not in the wrong.
It's quite possible where she's like, I'm being censored, but also I don't want to be anywhere near you because you are toxic. But I just wanted to add this last thing that in this article by CBC, kind of Canada's main news channel, they talked to a Toronto expert on free speech in Canada, and I can't find it. I don't have it highlighted, but oh, okay, here it is. To object to a student's post on their private platform, or private page, because it was critical of a country. It's just beyond the pale. It's outrageous. Adding he hadn't come across a similar case before in a public school. And I assume he means, because he's in Toronto, she's in Montreal, I assume he means all of Canada. So this is the first example, at least that he can find, this expert, he can find on a kid being suspended for criticism of a country. And it was kind of my fault.
Oh, no.
But good for her. And yeah, that'll show you kids out there. Don't repost what Uncle Lee says.
Or do.
All right. We're going to keep moving here. Got a few Supreme Court decisions coming up. Here's some good news. Alcatraz.
Oh my God. You just named two of your favorite things, alcohol and tennis.
Alcohol and tennis. It said I haven't had a drink.
These are a few of my favorite things.
I haven't had a drink today, and yet we're just like overheating and like it's just malfunctioning.
Dude, I wish I was drunk. Maybe then I would be less
alcohol,
uncomfortable,
Alcatraz. Alligator Alcatraz has finally fully shut down. So there's a
Although,
little.
can I be a Debbie Downer or a what was it? Negative Nate?
Here's how you be a Debbie Downer though. You say the positive thing first. And you go, "Yay, shut it down." Then you add.
Yeah, I don't work
Then
like that.
it's yes and.
I mean, yes, that's correct, but okay. But first of all, according to a report by Prism, it's not clear that it's going to actually shut down because
Mother fucking shit. What?
If you check out my most recent Substack where I talk about the news that didn't make the news.
I was going to mention that if you give me time.
No time like the present, my dear. So in reporting by Prism, it's actually several environmental organizations in the area have pointed out that, for instance, mosquito control operations, generators, other support infrastructure remain active. Vehicles still present at the site and continue to go back and forth. So they're leaving the site, but then they're driving back to the site, and they're not tearing down the infrastructure of the site. So a lot of folks in the area, because this is also a very environmentally fragile place because it's in the Everglades, which I was even surprised to know that there were any Everglades left. But apparently there are.
There's 5 glades.
Yeah, there's a glade. It's the Everglade now.
I guess they're not ever.
They're
not forever if they're disappearing. They're just sometimes glades. They're periodic glades.
Okay. So basically, it's not clear that they're actually dismantling it. Now, the other kind of negative Nate or whatever the fuck is that
I didn't say dismantling. I said closed down. There's no inmates there, right?
The people who were moved, it's not like they get to go home.
No, we were going to get to that.
Okay.
Yeah. No, of course. I'm surprised.
Right. I just wanted.
I'm surprised. You want to correct me before I get to say I was always amazed at this kind of yes, shut it down. Yes, it's horrific, but also they can torture these folks at all kinds of places. It doesn't have to be with the alligators, right?
No. It was just that it's kind of Angola in Louisiana or Rikers. It's like there are jails and prisons all over the country that are grotesque and that torture people. It's just that there are some that earn a reputation for being the worst of the worst. And Alligator Alcatraz was like the worst of the worst, where people were. I mean, not only dealing with the ramifications of just like the natural environment, which is particularly grotesque at this time of year, but also like being tortured explicitly in ways that perhaps other places weren't, being placed in stress positions and things like that that are very reminiscent of slavery, actually, like being put in a box where you can't actually, like, you can't lay down, you can't sit up properly, you can't stand up, like, so this is it was basically considered the worst of the worst. So yes, good that that is not happening there anymore. And also questions still remain about, okay, but where have they been moved? And I've covered before on Project Censored, with Dr. Austin Coker, who does great work. You can check out his Substack. He tracks basically like how inmates are moved. I also spoke to a guy at the Colorado Times Recorder who had broken the story about ICE hold rooms and how people are, like, cruelty is the point. People are moved around in the hopes that their loved ones and attorneys can't find them.
Can't find them.
So what happened to the people who were at Alligator Alcatraz? Where have they been moved? Do family members have any fucking clue? Have they already been deported? Yeah. So, I mean, like, yes, it's good. And also, again, like kind of with the Israel thing, it's like, this is not like a cool, that's good, let's walk away. Like, and I'm not saying this to promote burnout. I'm saying this because we are constantly back on our heels fighting this system. And we have to think about it in ways that are like, okay, there's harm reduction, which closing Alligator Alcatraz is absolutely harm reduction. And then there's actually recognizing like any modicum of justice and finding these people and bringing them home. That is what that looks like.
And while we're on the topic of immigrants being detained and deported, the Supreme Court, our lovely and wonderful Supreme Court, has ruled to end protections for Haitian and Syrian immigrants, and it could have a broader impact because of the temporary protected, because of the gutting of the temporary protected status. It's so funny. The United States is so immoral and so disgusting. We have these slight little things that protect some tiny bit of the people we're abusing and destroying. Like DACA. Yeah. And like temporary protected status is relative to the number of people we've killed or lives we destroyed in Syria and Haiti, etc., is a tiny number of individuals. And we're like gutting that. We're like, wait, there's 12 people. We've actually been somewhat, helped in some remote way. Well, we gotta destroy that. We gotta gut that. It's just strikingly repulsive. So that was a Supreme Court decision. And here is another one on one of my favorite topics, which is Roundup herbicide and Monsanto.
Yeah.
The Supreme Court has rejected a lawsuit alleging Roundup weed killer caused cancer, which, of course,
it does.
It does.
It just does.
It just does. And I've been through the years, like I remember doing the like anti-Monsanto stuff or the protests, etc. back in the day, 2012, and then when Redacted Tonight started, 2014. We covered this story about Roundup causing cancer. And through all that fight, a few things happened. One is Monsanto, basically because of these many legal battles, sold to Bayer Pharmaceutical, which was originally created by the Nazis and is a German company. And so now it's not called Monsanto anymore. It's called Bayer, but it's still doing all the Monsanto stuff. Like nothing's changed. The one thing that changed was they slowly were phasing out using Roundup for like individual use. They would I think they'd still sell it to farms in like bulk, but they just wouldn't sell it like on your average grocery store shelf. But then their next step was to switch from Roundup to another herbicide that was actually like more toxic.
Would now be a good time to remind everyone that Bayer had was very, very instrumental in the concentration camps in Nazi Germany and Poland and etc.
Yep.
And actually like promoted and worked with, among others, Dr. Mengele, who tortured children, among other things. So yeah, Baer has a history of basically torturing people and getting away with it. Interestingly enough, also because irony is dead along with a lot of other things. A recent human rights organization report by Medico International found that the glyphosate and phosphorus, a white phosphorus, used by Israel in Palestine and Lebanon, is presumably from Baer. So,
well, of course, you got to go to the best. I mean, you want to use the best.
I don't actually. Yeah, there aren't really any words for that anymore.
This that story that you just mentioned, as well as some of the others we mentioned, come from Eleanor's Substack posts on the news that didn't make the news. And where can people find that Substack?
EleanorGoldfield.substack.com.
EleanorGoldfield.substack.com. And mine is we'll take a quick minute, then we'll do one or two more stories and we'll wrap it up. But
yeah, because I am.
Yeah, we'll wrap it up here in a second. But I would love for everybody to join up at reallycamp.substack.com. My new comedy half hour is out there. And actually, when you sign up, you get both that one and the other one from 6 months ago. So you'll get 2 half hours. So really, you're getting an hour of my live stand-up, reallycamp.substack.com. I have a new column up today. I have a new column earlier this week. Those are free to get, even if you aren't a member. So it would be amazing if you throw the cost of a beer to support this show every month. 1 beer a month would be incredible. And that's all I'm asking. I'm not trying to become a trillionaire like certain space Nazis.
Oh my gosh, I really wish he was a space Nazi, like, and not on this planet, though.
You mean he's like kind of a
Like,
Nazi? He's a Nazi obsessed with space, as opposed to you want him in space.
I want him in space.
I mean, he keeps wanting to go to Mars, and so I'm like, yeah, just go. You go.
You go.
You
Leave.
go. I don't think it's going to end well for you. Like, I think very soon you'll be terminated. But you go. You have fun. And here's my column from today. It's so telling that our first trillionaire is a con man space Nazi. So please check that out. But okay, let's see. I actually didn't. I don't know if I really clarified this story. We talked kind of more tangentially, but Supreme Court on Thursday sided with the manufacturer of the weed killer Roundup, overturning a jury award for a Missouri man who claimed the widely used herbicide caused cancer in the 7-2 decision. Written 7-2. Wow. Even got some of the.
When you catch yourself.
Even got some of the
What?
Even got some of the libbies on that one.
It's a corporate court.
I'm aware. I reserve my ability to be shocked.
Okay, well, you tell me how that feels.
Do not try and rip my shock from me. The majority found that the federal law that regulates pesticides barred the Missouri man's lawsuit. Kavanaugh wrote the Missouri case would require a cancer warning on Roundup's labels, which would directly conflict with the label required by the Federal Environmental Protection Agency. But as you mentioned about the EPA.
Oh yeah, and apparently you covered this like
years ago.
But the EPA, the ironically titled Environmental Protection Agency, found that basically for nearly a decade, a 2013 scientific paper that concluded glyphosate is safe was actually ghostwritten by Monsanto.
Yeah. So what's new though, which you found that I didn't even know about, is they now have the internal memo. I covered that we knew it was ghostwritten by Monsanto because the funding was the same university in whatever, Missouri or wherever, that Monsanto like heavily funds. So it's like, oh, interesting. This study comes out of the university that Monsanto funds saying that Roundup is wonderful. And there was something else going on with the EPA. Something else leaked showing that they like it was like a memo that said, "What do we do about this?" I don't know. Anyway, Anyway, yeah, it's just,
apparently nothing because there's no accountability. So you just carry on, my friends.
I mean, here's
You
another
carry on.
here's another one of the things that is the core reality or whatever, where you'll just get the surface news. The truth is, yes, Trump is gutting what remains of the EPA, but the EPA has been captured for years. It doesn't mean it did nothing. It just didn't do a lot. And in cases like this from years ago, way before Trump had his first term, you have internally the EPA is like, well, we should do whatever Monsanto wants, right? Because that's, we need to help Monsanto. They're a major corporation. Like, that's how the EPA has worked for decades. And now Trump wants to gut, or is working to gut, like the tiny remnants of regulation.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like these agencies were set up like a shitty washing machine. And people think that they're set up like a maid that just comes in and like cleans everything and takes care of everything for you. But it's like you have to go and do the thing. They're there, but like the amount of work it takes for the Environmental Protection Agency to be pushed to protect a goddamn thing. Like, if you talk to folks who have gotten the EPA to like list toxic chemicals on their website or whatever, they've worked hard on that for like a decade or more. So the idea that it's like just something that happens and then like everybody's looking out for you, like that's just not how that shit is structured. You have to fight to get morsels that ultimately don't protect us, right? Like, there's still a minimum amount of lead that's considered safe, which is fucking bananas, because there is no minimum amount of lead that's safe.
But in thousands of American cities, it's above that minimum amount that you're talking about.
I know, but then that suggests that like the people who have it that are just like under that line are totally fine. It's like, no, they're not. And yet that is like a hidden crisis, because that doesn't even get to be newsworthy, because we're all worried about the people who are so far above the minimum level, So it's like these agencies were never set up to actually protect us. And I think like the way that we hear about them is that like we're protected. We don't have to fucking worry about it. We can just sit back and have our hot tea.
Why would you do that?
Because I didn't have time to make it iced. So I have no fucking ice. But like the white people problems. But like this is not how it works. And so this also is why, electoralism will only do so much, right? This is why like we have to build and fight for things that are outside the confines, a bit like, Ramsey talks about in the interview that will air on July 6th. Talks about like, stop thinking about it, like step out of this colonial framework, step out of the paradigm that they built for you, because your liberation was never part of the construct of this paradigm.
And it reminds me how everything is like so much of this is theater. It's like the EPA is theater to make you think you're being protected. The TSA is theater to make you think air travel
hand job meant something.
that the being fingered at TSA was for a good reason. Most elections, 100% on the federal level, are theater to make you think you're creating change. It's like so much of this is theater. Anyway, we're going to wrap up a couple minutes early because we're burning our ass off. But
because Eleanor gets very cranky when I know
Eleanor gets so cranky. The thing is, they like your crank, so I do too. But I'm just saying, they're probably
well. Then you should hear me on the phone with customer service.
Yeah, don't wrong her if you're a customer service rep. I did find the image that goes with the
I like that
stand-up special. Nationalism is a brain parasite is the name of the new stand-up half hour. That's at reallycamp.substack.com. And you could sign up for 1 month and then cancel. And so basically you paying $8 to watch both my stand-up specials. I think worth it. I'm going to go worth it on that one.
I like your confidence.
All right. This has been Common Sense. Love you guys. And I'll be back with my live stream Monday, 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific. And no, we got to travel. I will not be back Monday, but I will keep you updated.
I'm Lee's secretary, and I'm here to tell you.
All right. But I'll keep you updated on changes and things, and keep fighting.